Hello and welcome to this Pilates ball class. So the emphasis for this one is going to be more restorative. We are going to use some elements of breath and hopefully at the end you'll feel energized but also just relaxed and really good. That's the goal. If we've not met yet, my name is Nikki. My pronouns are she and her. As always with all of my classes, this is for you. This is your time. You do not need to do things exactly like I do. You are always welcome to modify, swap out an exercise, try something different, play around with it. So I'm just giving guidelines. They're not rules, yeah? So with that, what you are going to want for this class is probably a mat, some space to move, and then one of these 8 to 10 inch inflatable balls. Mine has a little bit of squish to it. If you find that it feels too firm, you can always deflate it a little bit or inflate it a little bit. Part of that is personal preference. So we are going to start seated or kneeling, whatever's comfortable, with a breathing exercise. So I want you to take the ball, place it high up in your armpit, grab on with your other hand, and then just start to inhale through the nose. And then you can exhale through the nose or mouth and just take them out at your own pace. And as you breathe in, I want you to think about breathing your ribs into that ball. And now I want you to inhale, side bend over. One more exhale here. Inhale again. And exhale, just side bend back. If you're not on my breath count, it's totally fine. Let's just do that 2 more times. Up and over. Hold and breathe. And back to the middle. 1 more time. Up and over. Hold and breathe. Back to the middle. And just for fun, take the ball away. And just notice here if it feels like there's more space in the side that we've done the breath work on. Let's switch sides. Ball into armpit. I know, funny cue. Gently grasp on. Take a few moments to breathe in and out, rib cage into the ball. Maybe 2 more breaths at your own pace. By the way, if you find this is not comfortable sitting back on your heels, just come upright. Here's another choice always, right? And then from here, if you wish, you can come up and over, sitting back in your heels or staying in the tall kneeling like I'm in right now. And back to the middle. 2 more times. Up and over. Back to center once more. Up and over. Back to center. There it is. Take the ball away. Take a moment here. Just notice if you have a little bit more spaciousness through your neck and shoulders, yeah? Okay, so from here, we're going to transition onto our back. And we are going to have the ball kind of the upper back area. So maybe about between the shoulder blades, a little higher or lower, just depending on personal preference. Hands behind your head. Take a moment, maybe just do a small extension back. And then just curling forward. Now again, you are welcome to play with where that ball is relative to your upper back. When it's a little bit higher, you'll feel more of the upper back instead of the lower back, which is what I'm after because that is where I tend to be a little bit stiff. This time, let's take it back. Let's hold here. Notice I'm not all the way back. Just till I feel a little bit of kind of a stretcher movement. And now let's side bend again. Left elbow to left hip. So we did this seated just a moment ago. Breathing into the right ribs. And let's go right elbow to right hip. Open up the left side. Breathing into the left ribs. 1 more time each way. And back to the middle 1 more time. And then you can curl forward or lean back, whatever feels better in your body today. And then coming up. All right. Take your ball. Come onto your back for just a moment. Depending on your hair. Maybe your head can be flat, maybe it won't, but I'm going to do the best I can with this situation. Bring the ball underneath your pelvis. Now, of course, you don't have to use the ball, but I find the ball is fairly relaxing sometimes, so you're a little bit inverted. This can help with diaphragmatic breathing. Feel free to fuss with exactly where your ball goes. I want it pretty much underneath my pelvis so my low back feels supported. Hands maybe by your sides or resting on your ribs. Take a moment, again, just to kind of let everything settle here. Try to let gravity and the ball have your pelvis. And then hands can stay on ribs or hands can come down by your sides. Just want you to float one leg up for a moment. Try to hold the pelvis fairly still and then float it down. And then float the other leg up. Now you've got choices here. You can do more of a tabletop, which is the first thing I demoed, or if it feels nice to just kind of let this thigh bone just kind of fold into the hip, you can also just kind of let it fold this way. In some ways, I think this one is harder because you don't have quite the same level of muscle activation. So I today am liking the tabletop legs, so I'm going to stick with that. Now you are welcome to stay with this, or you can join me for the next one up. So let's take one leg up. Let's take the second leg up. Let's hold here for a moment. Now let's take one leg down and the other leg down. If you want to alternate sides, please do, but don't worry about it if you don't. This is option A. Option B is once you are here and you are holding it, take one arm up. Or take both arms up. Little stability challenge. One arm down, other arm down, one leg down, other leg down. Good job. Let's do it again. Up, up. Option to hold or lift the arms. Arms come down. Legs come down. One more time. Legs come up. Option to bring the arms up. Now we're upping the ante, yes? So let me show you option A. Arms are down to help stabilize, yep, as you go. Option B for my adventurous crew, you're gonna go opposite arm and leg. Now, can you do this no ball on the ground? Absolutely. Did I say this was a restorative class? Technically, yes, but you should feel some nice kind of deep core connection here, even amidst the work. One more. Good. Arms come down. Legs come down. And rest. Good job. All right, let's do one more little core move, if you will. So let's take the legs up. Now again, option A, flex the feet, keep the knees bent, and you can heel tap. Option B, stretch the legs in the air, feet flexed or toes pointed if you prefer. Same thing, we're gonna alternate sides. Now I'm trying to keep this rib to hip connection, so I don't put a big arch in my back. Now, can you do this? No hands? Of course, but you don't have to. That's it. One more each way. Good work. Let your arms come down, bend the knees, let your feet come down. All right, from here, let's just cross one ankle over the knee for just a moment. Take a little hip stretch if you want. You can even fold the legs in. Alrighty, and let's just switch sides. Quick little reprieve. You can pause here or let your knee come in. Up to you. And then take that all in and let that go. All right, from here, lift your hips, move the ball out of the way. And we're gonna do some heel slides with the ball. So all you're gonna do is place the ball underneath one of your feet. Toes are on the ball. Again, arms can be wherever you want. Arms by sides, on hips, out in a T, or up in the air. Just whatever feels right for you today. When you're ready, you're gonna just slide the ball out, try to hold your pelvis still, and slide the ball in. Now, again, fairly restorative class, but if you do want a little bit of core work, you can go hands to thigh, leg and tabletop. to add on. Again, there's choice here. So either one is great. Right. You pick. All right, if you feel good with this, stay with this. If you want a little bit more, open your knee out to the side. Slide the leg out. Yep, there's a little coordination with the ball. Bring it back to the center. Can you do this with that little bit of ab challenge? Of course. Let's go one more. I'm trying to hold my pelvis still. It may or may not happen. Let's just reverse 3 times. Leg goes out straight or even a hair of turned in or internal rotation. Roll the thigh out, pull it in, come back to the middle. Yes, this is harder with a slightly squishy ball, but that's okay. It's a good way of starting to train your brain to find your foot and your hip joint. Nice job. Notice what that felt like on that side, and let's switch. So, foot has the ball. When you're ready, slide it out. You might need to fuss, and that is okay. Pull it in. If you would like some abs, this is a valid choice. Let's go one more. I think I like hands on hips today, and I'm not feeling ambitious, so I will show you the ab option, but you can do whatever you like. Okay, let's add the turnout of the leg, sending it out. Full disclosure, my inner thighs are quite sore, so this feels really nice. I don't know where you feel it, but for me, that's kind of what it feels like. It's a nice little reprieve through some stiff areas. Remember, if you wish, this might feel good too. All right, let's reverse. So the leg starts parallel or even biased to internal rotation, external rotation, and then bring it in. 2 more times. And back to the middle once more, friend. And let that all go. Nice work. Okay, from here, let's roll to our side. We're gonna do a little bit of work. Okay, let's come onto our hands and knees. So just set your ball to the side for a moment. Knees underneath hips, hands underneath shoulders. Lengthen out from tail to head. And actually, let's take the knees a little bit wide first, and let's just start to rock back and forth a few times. Try to keep our tail feathers a little in the air. All I mean by that is we're not tucking. So just notice how this feels in your body. Again, there's no right or wrong. And now what I want you to do is bring your knees in, and if you want, take the ball, place it between your thighs perhaps. You don't need to death grip it, but it's just a little bit of connection. And now feel the difference when you have that narrow position. You may not be able to move as far. That's totally normal, by the way. All right, come back up onto hands and knees, tuck your toes, keep the ball, and now just little mini hovers. So again, a little bit of a gentle ab activation. Try not to drop the head or sag in the shoulders. Good work. We're gonna do one more little piece of this. So 2 choices. You can do this just like you are. Knees down where you just tap your shoulders. So that is option A. Option B is tuck the toes, hover the knees, and just stay here and hold and breathe for as long as you like. Option C is gonna be to stay up here and tap the shoulders. Little grand finale for the abs for this mini ball class. Hold it here, come all the way down, and let that rest. All right, from here, again, you don't need to use the ball if it doesn't feel good in your body, but if you like, should be a little bit deflated or squishy. Come on down, and I want you to set the ball up so it's just kind of roughly underneath your sternum. Place one hand over the other, and let your forehead rest on your hands. Feet can be narrow or wide or anything in between. Just start by breathing in and out, allowing yourself to soften over the ball. And if you're like me, you might need to come a little higher or a little lower on the ball. I didn't have it quite right. That feels better for my body. So feel it out. It's just somewhere roughly under your sternum. You might feel the gentle pressure of the ball on the sternum.
You might feel a stretch somewhere across your back. Just depends. Now we're going to go into a little bit of extension here. You've got two choices. Option A is going to be to keep the arms as they are, look slightly up, and then just coming up into just a little extension here where the arms stay just right where they were, one over the other, and coming down. Option B is going to be to have your hands like so, or option C is going to be to do the one I'm going to go with today, which is going to be setting up my hands in line with the shoulders and then rotating the shoulders back so I get the back muscles a little bit engaged. From here, my legs are going to be a little bit engaged and strong. And then I'm going to think about screwing my hands and elbows in towards my sides. And even though my hands aren't moving, I'm tractioning my hands towards my feet to shine my breastbone forward and lift my chest into a little bit of a bigger extension, if that feels good. And then I'm going to come back down. Now again, this is a game of inches. Now I want my ball, I think, a little bit higher up. So I'm going to move myself so it's there. Let's try it again. Screw the elbows in, shine the breastbone forward. Nice little extension if you think about it, not unlike the extension we did when we were lying on our back on the ball, but now the ball is giving our feedback to the front of the body instead of the back of the body. 2 more times. Screw the elbows in, screw the hands in, pull the shoulders down the back subtly to lift the chest and head. Coming down. 1 more time. Lifting the chest, coming down, and now move the ball out of the way. Just come onto your belly, one hand over the other. Let your forehead rest down on your hands. Breathe in and out here. And just notice if you have any, again, newfound space somewhere through your back. All right, from here, we are going to transition to come on up.
Okay, so as you can see, I have moved my mat a little closer to the wall. Now, if you do not have wall space for this final exercise, or you don't want to put your feet on the wall, you can do this, no wall, no problem. So if you're not going to use the wall, all you're going to do is come onto your back. We're just going to do a little bit of a breathing exercise, and then once you are there, you're just going to lift your hips up and the ball will go under your pelvis. You can also just do this no ball. So this is option A, with or without the ball. Again, you can also do feet on the wall with or without the ball as well. Option B, you're probably going to want to scoot in a little closer to your wall. And then it's a little bit of a game of inches. But yeah, for me, that feels about right. Put your feet on the wall, push into your feet, maybe bridge up, and then the ball will go underneath the pelvis. Feet are supported on the wall. So once you're here, again, do whatever you want with the arms, out to the sides in a T, maybe goalpost, maybe hands on ribs. Just start to breathe. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose or mouth. Start to allow your pelvis to get heavy on the ball. And if all you do is just breathe for the remainder of class, that's great. If you want, maybe try those goalpost arms. And then something you have the option of doing here is sliding your hands up in a kind of a stretch and then taking the arms back down. Maybe the arms are staying on the floor, maybe they're not. So again, this is just optional. If it feels good, it can be as small or as big as you like. Maybe you look more like, I don't know, this, and that feels good. Or maybe the arms are straighter and they're doing more of a snow angel. So again, I'm just giving you choice here. Do that 1 or 2 more times, and then again, just take a moment to let everything settle. Feeling the weight of your bones just all kind of soften in towards each other, into the ball, into the floor. And then from here, let's take the feet off of the wall. Lift your hips up, move the ball out of the way. Take a moment to let everything settle here. Take a few easy breaths. Noticing again if there's any newfound spaciousness in your ribs, your low back, maybe your hips or your neck or your shoulders. And again, you can stay here for as long as you wish. So when you're ready, of course, you're welcome to come on up to seated. For the purpose of this class, though, we're going to call it done. Thank you so much for joining me in this one. I hope you found it restful.